Hello, people with good taste. Welcome to another episode of the Higurashi Log. This time, we have two new members, which we are going to introduce in a moment. I am Des, and next up we have...
Oh, it's me? Oh, yay. Okay, hi. I'm Ambi. I'm very new here, and I'm very excited.
I'm the fine and dandy horse scam. Please don't hurt me.
Hi, I'm Kirby. I am also new here. Pleased to meet you.
I am Yensid, and I am the last in alphabetical order.
All right. So let us introduce the new members. I guess we could start with Kirby, simply because we have mentioned him. If you have been listening to us since the beginning, he is the member we tried to get onto the podcast at the start of Higurashi Gou before we knew it was gonna be what it is.
Yeah, so with that, so I was originally going to be on it back when we all thought it was just, going to be a remake or something. And then episode 2 comes out, and we all collectively shit our pants. We're like, oh god, what are we going to do?
Yeah, because you hadn't watched the original Higurashi at the time.
Yeah,
right?
I was specifically not watching it because I was like, okay, I want to be like new to this since this will be a new thing for me. And then Ryukishi07 is like, no, it's not new.
Yeah, the fucking moment that scene with Hanyu happened in episode 2, I just had to instantly DM Kirby of just going, don't watch this episode! Don't do it! You can't be in the podcast!
And then I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what's happening. Alright. And to make a long story short, eventually I sat down and I read the Higurashi manga in like a week because I am crazy.
All right. So let me just say something before I forgot, because I have already forgotten. This episode is going to have Higurashi spoilers and also Umineko spoilers, but this time only up to question arcs, because Kirby's only on the question arcs. All right. So anyway, going on with your introduction, I guess we could ask you, what is your favorite When They Cry character?
My favorite When They Cry character, just... this is probably a kind of basic take, but I don't know. I like Battler. I think he's funny. I think
he's also one of my favorite characters. Yeah, Battler is great. He's charming.
Oh yeah, he is a lad.
He's a winner.
Well, anyway, Ambi.
Yeah. Hi.
So, what is your experience with When They Cry?
With When They Cry? Mushroom. Completely Mushroom's fault that I got into the When They Cry series. I did get into Higurashi on my own at first, when I was just watching like any anime that would come across my radar at all. And so I watched it, and I really, really liked it. And then I told Ambi after I watched Umineko, and then Ambi. I'm Ambi, right? Sorry, it's a new nickname. I'm still getting used to it.
Are you talking in third person now?
I know. This is gonna be a weird conversation if I'm talking in third person. But Mushroom. After I told Mushroom, I also watched Umineko. They were like, "You need to stop whatever you're doing right now, so we could read the rest of it." And after endless nights up until 3 a.m., that's exactly what we did. So I'm fully baked in both Yukishi properties, but I still have a very fondness towards Higurashi.
How about your favorite When They Cry character then?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I have a favorite Umineko one and I have a favorite Higurashi one. I won't spend too long on that, but I would say my favorite Umineko one is definitely Birkenstow. And my favorite Higurashi one, that one's also tough because it's between Rika and Mio. I think Mio is like one of the most compelling just characters in fiction that I've just ever had the experience of just watching it, especially in anime form.
Nice. I would love to have you on a Furude Shrine episode about Takano then.
Ooh, that should be fun.
Cool. All right. So these are our 2 new members. I'm glad you were able to join us because otherwise it would just be me, Horsegame, and Yensid collectively feeling disappointed at Go. But now I feel like this is actually going to be an enjoyable episode.
Yeah, we were just like, what the fuck do we even talk about? There was like 20 minutes of things to say. Let's just invite 2 more people. That'll spice things up.
Hey, it works, right?
In the Higurashi bedroom.
So...
Okay, maybe we should also ask what your general opinion on Higurashi Gou is, because everyone knows what ours is, but they don't know what yours opinion.
Yeah, which one of us do you want to go first?
Well, we could start by you now, Andy.
Okay. Okay, with Higurashi Go, again, I'm probably like everyone else. By the second episode, it was just like a huge, oh God, can I curse on here?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
I was gonna say it was just like.
Why do people even feel the need to ask that?
This is a child-friendly
this is
Higurashi
can't swear on
a child-friendly podcast where we talk about child murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, swearing, that's too far.
Child murder? Yeah, that's perfect. We can't go any further than that.
Yeah, I was watching Satoko rip out a girl's intestines for 14 minutes, but then she said, fuck dumpster, and then I was like, ooh, that's a little...
I don't know about
Can't show this to my kid anymore.
Yeah, but after, like, episode 2, it was just, like, a huge clusterfuck. And it really is just, like, watching each episode, like, every week has just got me, like, okay, how is this gonna get even more into a clusterfuck? And that's that's what's kept me going and watching Go. Like, I really don't have like any overall opinion whether it's good or not. Right now, I'm just very impressed by how much, it's just by how much it's just
how well this anime is being the complete opposite of good.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. 'Cause it's all over the place. So
just like quality neutral clusterfuck.
That's a good term for it.
But yeah, honestly, I'm enjoying the ride with it. Oh.
Just join the ride. Don't worry about it. Just hop on the train and just be like and watch the car crash.
Horsegame. This anime does not justify its own existence. That's all I have to say. Anyway, Kirby, what is your opinion on Higurashi Gou?
My opinion with Go, so I guess, I should start with my kind of just experience with Go to begin with. You know, I watched the first episode, not being really a When They Cry fan, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then I just hear from Yensid randomly, like, do not watch the second episode. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. And then, eventually, like, a few months later, I guess, when I finally get around to, reading through Higurashi, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can finally start this again. And I think...
Speedrunning Higurashi.
Higurashi any percent. No, but yeah, so I think, honestly, when I started it, I think, like, the first and second arc, I felt like it had a lot of potential. I was really interested in where it was going, because it was like, oh, it was like, there are some, twists here, things I didn't see coming. It wasn't just, like, I don't feel like I didn't realize it, or I didn't realize it, or at least acknowledge it, that it was just kind of, like, just a lot of shock value without content. I think by, like, the third arc, which is just, like, a repeat of, I want to say, I believe it's the seventh arc. I'm not super great at keeping that stuff in my memory, but yeah, like where it's just an entire repeat of it, pretty much, with almost nothing changing except at the end, Oishi runs in and he kills people. Oh my god, that's crazy! I think that's when I was like,
that's the Satoko one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was a drag.
Yeah, I think I think by the end of that I was like, I don't really know where this is going, and it's like halfway over, and I don't know what's happening, and then I get to the most the fourth arc, and I'm just like, oh cool, it's just a Riona game with Rika. Fun. It's just like top 10 anime death comp. top 10 anime deaths in Higurashi.
Yeah.
And at this point, I think. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, I was interrupting you.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. Yeah. So I think by episode 16 was the one where I watched it, and I think I literally, like, after watching it, I DM'd I DM'd Jensen, and my reaction was just I don't think I like Higurashi Gou anymore. And I'm just kind of like a lot of other people. I'm just kind of along for the ride. I don't know where it's gonna go, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't like Go when it was, on the first 3 arcs. It was just like a repetition of what we already knew. I was like, come on, Go, give me some new content. And now that Go is giving me some new content, I'm like, fuck, go back.
Yeah.
Go back. It's new content. You can never go back.
But it's bad content. Anyway, should we get into the episodes and actually discuss concrete things then?
Yeah.
Okay, so on last week's or I guess 2 weeks ago now,
episode 17.
Episode 17 opens up with a flashback. Yeah, it opens up with a flashback to the end of Matsuri Bayashi, or I guess in English, Festival Accompanying chapter. And it's just stuff we already knew.
That's the wrong episode. Episode 17 starts with a flashback to Minagoroshi, with the end of Minagoroshi.
True. Yes. I meant Minagoroshi. Anyway, yeah. So, and after that, we cut off to Go again, and it's just Rika going about her normal life. Then Takano is arrested, but not quite. It's weird what happened there. She was just low-key forgiven, but still arrested. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff. Anyway, the village...
sorry.
No, go.
I wanted to say at the beginning, like, before episode 17 came out, like, with how episode, like, 15 and 16 went, I genuinely thought, like, okay, is it just gonna, like, start with a cold open of, like, Rika just being burned in a barrel? Like, I genuinely was like, where like, what are they even gonna do now?
This episode was wild, especially with the reactions on Twitter after it.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
So we keep going. The village seems to be back to normal, right? And then everything's cool until it isn't. But before that, we get a nice bonding moment between these characters we have all grown to love. So Keiichi, Mion, Rena, Rika, and Satoko are all doing their club things. And then Rika has a great idea to make a surprise for Satoko because, her birthday is just some days after the Watanagashi. And so everyone prepares surprises, except for Mion, because I don't know what happened there, I guess. Mion says she didn't find a present that she would like. What the fuck, Mion? Anyway. Keiichi gives her a fucking vegetable encyclopedia, which is like, human comedy picked with vegetable encyclopedia.
And then, to drive the joke further, he went, now you can know the difference between broccoli and cauliflower. It's like, what fucking show am I watching? How is this real?
Yeah, it's
the only good scene in Go.
Only.
Okay, Hard Game, tell me, why am I wrong?
No, I just went, I just sighed. You're not wrong.
I think...
No, you're fine.
Okay. So, what other presents does she receive? What does she receive from Rena? What does Rena give her?
Red eye contacts.
Oh.
I actually don't remember what Mion gave her.
I honestly don't either.
I think she gave her like a little doll thing from what I remember. I don't know.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a doll?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's a doll.
It was like a little
And then
And then
Yeah.
Mion gave her like some tickets. Or
Mion
something.
didn't give anything.
yeah, Mion. Yeah.
But then
didn't someone give
Rika
tickets or something?
gives Satoko PTSD.
No, Mion gave Satoko tickets.
Yeah, tickets.
Yeah, that's
or something.
right. Yeah,
So she did give her something.
yeah. Mion gave her tickets to Angel Mort.
Oh yeah, right. No,
true.
yeah, that's
true. But I'm pretty sure at first she says she didn't give her anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was confusing. But yeah, all right. Thank you, Mion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mion's thoughtful.
so Rika gets the punching box that we saw on the first episode of Higurashi Gou, and then Satoko gets PTSD, and that's when we are like, all right, it is confirmed. Satoko is a looper. Is it a good twist? Let us discuss. Yensid, I know you want to say something about this.
It wasn't.
I disagree. I think it was a fine twist.
I-
it's not a shit. Like it's because if anything else was revealed at that point, people would still be mad because like, oh, they didn't telegraph anything else. But like, I understand that Satoko was completely obvious, but like, yeah, but like if it was anything else, it would make everyone else pissed. I think it's a fine twist, and the way they revealed it was perfectly fine.
As long as they explained it, anyone else would fit. As long as there was a correct explanation. It's just that it was.
Oh,
like
so you want to
Satoko
explain
being a
after the
looper
fact of the
wasn't even a
reveal and not
secret
have any
anymore.
evidence before the reveal? So there's no mystery?
Well, I mean,
guess, yeah,
the
that's
way
true.
I judge mysteries isn't just like what is the best reveal for all the clues piling up. It's just what is what is like the build up to the reveal and the reveal that's interesting and unexpected. Because like the way the clues are, like, yeah, Satoko is super obvious and no one else could really be very obviously the looper. But that's kind of a problem with the mystery in general, if it's that obvious.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a fine reveal because I don't really view Go as a mystery. Because if I view it as a mystery, it's a horrible mystery. Because like it doesn't really set
Exactly,
itself
Horst,
up. It doesn't set itself up as a mystery.
The
Not
mystery-
very well.
Horsecam, have you seen the tags on my anime list?
Well, that's my anime list. No one cares about genre.
The mystery of which one is broccoli and which one is cauliflower.
That's the real mystery of Go.
Yeah, that's the Higurashi Go.
Well, like, if I don't view it as a mystery, then, like, the payoffs for each arc aren't very interesting at all. Because, like, the only things that was, like, really interesting about Go was, like, kind of looking at all the clues and seeing what people think of it.
Oh yeah, like I would.
Yeah.
I would say that the only really thing that I personally, I guess, is interesting about Go is seeing all the, I guess seeing everyone's, theories and shit, which are a lot more, which are honestly a lot more interesting than I feel like what it actually is. Because while the, I guess while the twist wasn't bad, it just feels. I don't know. It just feels so far below what I expect from Ryukishio 7. Like, it just feels very, very obvious. Like, it's like, okay, Satoko is the looper. That's just like, it's fine, but it's
It's just
I see where you're coming from. I see where
it's
you're coming
serviceable.
from. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that also makes me think that Rikishi is gonna pull something else by the end. But I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't think Satoko is the main culprit here.
No, I don't.
Like, there's something definitely over
Yeah.
Satoko.
I don't think
That's
so.
the
I
main
think
villain here.
I feel like it's even possible that maybe he's trying to sell Satoko as like the main villain on purpose to maybe like get people to think like, oh, Satoko is going to be the end point, but really it's going somewhere else because
Because there's, like,
I don't know,
too many episodes.
It just feels like there's too many episodes of Satoko doing weird and crazy shit, and it's just like even I guess something I want to comment is like the cover the cover art of the new ED Go ending too, which is Satoko looking evil into the camera. Just I don't know, it just feels a little too on the nose, I guess.
Yeah.
But even if there is, which probably there is, someone above Satoko, and like through the episodes we have discussed various theories on what could be going on, and we have discussed things that I consider to be nice explanations. Even if those nice explanations are the truth here, I'm not gonna be satisfied with them. Not because they are bad explanations, because they're actually good explanations, but simply because the anime has been building up to them horribly, and it's just been a not pleasant experience at all.
Oh yeah, no, like I definitely got to agree with that. Like for like even if there is like some massive amazing twist that reveals everything, we've still had to watch we've still had to watch 18 episodes of a not very good show to get there,
Yeah.
People are saying it's not finished, you can't judge it, but the thing is with Higurashi and Umineko, I was enjoying the question arcs. We're at the answer arc, and I did not enjoy the question arcs. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, what kind of argument is that? You're only allowed to judge an anime when it's finished. Like, I understand that with a movie, because you sit down, you watch the thing, and then at the end you judge it. But you can't do the same with a medium that has an episode every week, right? Because in between episodes, people are going to discuss and sit think about what happened. They might drop the anime.
You could easily enjoy an Umineko or Higurashi arc just by the end of the arc.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like each arc of Higurashi and Umineko specifically, I do a really good job to to close things out while also leaving them interesting enough to see where's this gonna go going forward, but not leave me damn, I'm not satisfied or anything. With Go, it's just hey, here's 3 arcs you've already seen, but at the end of it, something wacky and zany happens.
Of the first 3 arcs, it feels like the only one that kind of holds up somewhat decently as just a self-contained arc is the first one. Because with the second one and the third one, if you don't really view it as a mystery, it's just oh, Mion locked me up and now everyone's dead. Oh, Teppei's here and I beat him in the bat and Oishi went insane, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, it really seemed like those arcs were really setting up a rewrite for the first question arc for Higurashi. New scenarios that we have to theorize and try to solve the mystery of. But after those 3 arcs, it just kind of goes into the whole theorizing towards who is the looper, and it kind of shifts focus after that.
That's one thing I'm really curious about, why they chose to do it that way, because it feels like I don't know, maybe it's all intentional and this will make more sense in hindsight once we have the entirety of Go out, but it feels like they just made a lot of really weird weird mysteries, weird, I guess, mysteries or questions that people would have, why did this happen, and why did this happen in the first arc or the second arc, and it's just are we ever really going to go back to that now, or is it just going to be focused on the looper stuff? Because without that,
now, since Rika kind of established that whoever the looper is, I guess we do know for now, but whoever that is basically controlling and doing whatever they wanted. So that's kind of makes it makes the first 3 arcs kind of feel really redundant, because it's it could have just whatever's in the air, whatever happened.
Well, I think the first 3 arcs are interesting. The only arc I really liked of those first 3 arcs is the first one. The second one is just okay, and the third one is awful because it's so boring. It's nothing happens in it. Until the very end.
Yeah, arc 3 is probably my favorite question arc, and then it was just haha, but it's arc 7. Great.
It's just really weird because
favorite arc of the entire series.
Shut up. I like Minagoroshi.
Minagoroshi is awful.
It's mostly repeated content of an arc that in itself was originally somewhat repeated content as well. Like half repeat.
What? Oh, I can be the only one who really likes Minagoroshi.
Yes,
no.
you are.
Minagoroshi is like the most boring arc.
Okay,
I'm going to humiliate
I don't
you.
want to give off the impression that I don't want to give off the impression that I dislike it, because actually probably, I guess, you know, the all the Satoko stuff is probably just like some of my favorite stuff in the original series, and I really like it. I'm just saying, like, they're taking something that was already somewhat repeated, which was fine in the original, and then also just kind of repeating it for, I guess, at that point, what is like some stuff we would be seeing for the third time now, assuming, you know, we've read through, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should have done more what they did with the first arc, where like they changed things just enough to be like, oh, that's questionable. Because Onidamashi, like, yeah, it's kind of the story of Onikakushi, but they changed majority of these elements to have different meanings. But like with Watanadamashi and Taridamashi, they literally just didn't change anything.
No.
Why is it named
no, that's what I was
Taradamashi
saying,
if it's Minagoroshi? What? Why the fuck?
I mean, it's technically changed, but it's not new.
That's what I was gonna say, that I don't dislike Minagoroshi, but because, like, it's a good payoff in the context of the story after all the arcs before, most of the arcs before were, like, resorting to violence out of insanity. But as a standalone, it's just boring diplomacy, which doesn't fucking translate well to the third arc of this anime.
Maybe it's because I read it in the manga, but I don't know. I don't agree. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it also depends on how much you like
interesting.
Satoko.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't like Satoko. Satoko was a weird character. She didn't have that much development throughout the entirety of the series.
That's why.
I think that's probably why they made her the
That's-
villain in this arc.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, on the topic of Satoko, I just want to say something about the ending of episode 17 with just Satoko with red eyes and a gun, and then just the title card of the next arc being Satoko arc is very, very funny.
Yeah, the last...
Sometimes I do think like Ryukishi's just punking us at this point.
Yeah, the last few minutes
Because, like,
of that episode really felt
The
like a
last few minutes-
shitpost idea of, like, what if...
No,
What if
I was
it's...
laughing so hard.
What if it's Satoko's birthday and Keiichi gives her vegetable guide and tells her, what if broccoli or cauliflower? And then Rika tricks her with her brain power, so then Satoko pulls out a gun from nowhere, goes red eyes, and then the next arc is called Satoko Washi.
Satoko Washi.
Oh my god.
Okay, but I think the biggest offender in these two episodes, I mean, and going back to the third last episode as well, is how much Go is messing up Rika and Satoko, like their characters. Because even if they manage to explain the story in a way that feels satisfying somehow, they are not gonna be able to erase how much they have damaged these characters. How am I gonna be able to look at Satoko the same way now? Because this isn't even Satoko. This is extremely out of character for Satoko.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
And also
something
Rika.
that I
Like,
think
Rika
Des, you're
does
not
not
gonna
act
agree
like
with.
this.
Like, Des, you're definitely not gonna agree with what I'm gonna say here. I think this characterization works if they're doing what they think they're trying to do with the themes of the story. If
What do
they're
you think they're trying
trying,
to
because
do?
even the themes of the story still doesn't work for Higurashi. They want to do more themes of abuse and things like I don't think like abusive relationships, not specifically that, but of just normal of mental abuse from yourself and others. Of guilt.
I can see that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can
Are
see
you trying
that.
to say that like what they're trying to go for is making the audience have the same distorted perception of the characters that Rika goes through, where she's like, I really like this friend I have, but sometimes they go crazy and kill people, and I'm not gonna be able to look at them the same way. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. Basically, Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is I think the theme is like Rika, if they're trying to go where like Satoko is the main villain, but like because the thought I had before Satoko was revealed as the looper, I was like maybe the culprit is it's like maybe Rika is this is not something of Satoka's doing, this is something of Rika's doing. Rika feels guilty because she says she wants to leave.
Yeah, exactly. That's the theory we talked about in the last episode. Yeah, I really like that one. Just to explain to Ambi and Kirby then.
Yeah.
So like what this theory says is that everything that happens in Go is like a product of Rika's insecurities and fears. So like when she moved away from Hinamizawa, she knew she would be leaving Satoko behind because maybe she didn't qualify for the exams. And like Kichi and Rena are older, so by the time Rika graduated, they would also be out of town. So she would feel like regretful that she would be leaving Satoko behind. And like if you go back to Akasaka going crazy, Akasaka is like the most reliable person Rika can depend on. And even he goes crazy, so that could be her insecurities of like, what if even this person goes crazy? And like if they go crazy, where does she go from there? She tries to ask for help from anyone, even like fucking Kimiyoshi, right? Like if her beacon of hope stops being a beacon of hope, then like she would be like anyone, just like fucking anyone, as long as one person is able to help me. I don't even care who it is. That's why even characters who have like 5 minutes of screen time, even they go crazy, because that's her being like, what if I literally cannot depend on literally anyone, right? So that would make sense.
It will make more sense than Satoko as a culprit, because like still with Satoko as the culprit theory is like, how the fuck does she get the H173 syringe? She has no access to it.
Yeah, and also,
where'd
she get a gun?
That just goes into like, there's gonna be more to this.
Oh yeah.
There's no way Satoko can get that syringe easily.
You know, I haven't really thought about this before, but you know, with everyone everyone kind of going like crazy and killing Rika, I'm just imagining Satoko running around with a syringe around town, just injecting just injecting everyone.
Is that how it happens? Like for everyone?
I don't know. That's kind of what I assumed. Satoko's just running around with a syringe injecting people.
Imagining she's doing like a fucking Half-Life 2 speed run, just jumping through Hinamizawa, and then just like pressing E, the one frame there next to a person, and just skyrocketing away.
Just clipping through
God.
Okay.
Well,
but even if the explanation is that one that I mentioned, that I actually find very satisfying, it doesn't change the fact that Higurashi Gou has been a mess.
Yeah, because like whatever explanation there is, I can't see it like really redeeming the first 3 arcs from being just whatever.
Yeah, you know...
Yeah, the anime could have been optimized. The time we spent on those boring ass arcs could have been used to better develop these themes that we are exploring now.
Honestly, I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like you could cut the first 3 arcs out and just like, maybe with like a little bit of an introduction, maybe with like you change some things around in the 4th arc, just kind of give an introduction to what's happening. You don't really need those arcs. They just kind of like...
In fact, you can probably start with this current arc that we're in now.
Yeah.
Higurashi him. Because because I said this after the episode, like, this episode felt like a start of a new series than a continuation of the last previous episodes.
Yeah.
Should we maybe mention some like
keep going?
Me and Kirby had a couple of theories about maybe the production of Go that might make it the way it is. Like,
yeah, sure.
Your midway changing.
Yeah, I have a crack theory, not for the plot, but for the development of Go. Of what if it was supposed to be a remake at first, and then Ryukishi, like, when it was delayed, he just went insane and rewrote it in a short period of time to reuse the assets from the original arcs.
I don't think so, because like it would not make sense with this new content. This new content is not recycled any at all.
Well, you gotta admit, like when you think about what's actually new and what's recycled, it comes out to like a very high rate of just recycled content for the series. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to write the. I guess if that theory is true, the only thing is that it wouldn't make sense for them to write like, we are going to make arc 1, arc 2, and then arc 7.
I think the issue with Go. I think this is an issue with Go. It's like it's the problem they had probably with the way that they were trying to write it. They tried to write it for both the newcomers and veteran
viewers.
It
feels like they just...
And so they had to do a lot of weird shit to explain stuff. Like, we're getting random flashbacks to something that we already seen before if you've already watched the series. Like, I didn't need this last week's episode to start with.
Yeah, half the last episode was a flashback.
It's also, it's also really... weird. It's also just really weird, I guess, because like, hey, you know, it seems like they're trying to like make it for new people as well, but also it's like, here is literally the final scene of the original Higurashi.
Yeah, it feels like they're only just attempting to make it for new people, like, as an afterthought for profit motivations, because like...
Yeah.
Because Funimation, from what I've seen of their Twitter, and sorry to interrupt, I guess Funimation of what I've seen of Twitter seems to be really pushing it as like, this is something you can watch as a newcomer.
Yeah, there's fucking tweets in the Funimation of them talking about it being like the most popular show on their forums, and them just saying it's a great start for newcomers.
Yeah, they're really pushing the branding on Higurashi.
I mean, it is, to be fair, for Funimation is the only thing of Higurashi and When They Cry on their service.
Yeah.
Because they don't hold the license for it anymore.
Nope.
For the original series anymore.
They should really get back to relicensing
they only have
Umineko.
I sure hope they don't make a new Umineko anime though.
Funimation lost a license to distribute When They Cry in like 2015, and no one picked it up again until like 2018, and that was by Sentai Filmworks.
Who has... Oh, okay.
What? Sentai
Filmworks or Haida.
Damn. Cool. They usually do cool stuff with their IPs.
Sentai Filmworks had the license for the original dub, but like they didn't have the license for the actual subbed versions of the show. They only had the first season dubbed. And so now they have the first season subbed and the second season subbed and the extra arcs. But they don't have Umineko because they would never touch Umineko.
Yeah, does anyone have Umineko?
No. As far as I know.
No, I think you can only get it on like pirate sites.
No one would touch Umineko.
Yay, piracy.
No one wants to touch
No one would touch Umineko.
Oh, Umineko. Anyway, continuing on to the last episode. I mean, I guess we already have touched upon the fact that half the episode was a flashback to Higurashi again.
Yeah. I guess this is something. This isn't really that important. Is about episode 18. It's kind of something I want to mention. Is I like when they were in the school and they were all just like chatting and they were like talking about Mion like she's dead even though she's just one town over in high school. Like, our classmate Mion has died, but she will.
Mion was not in the episode at all. Like, it makes no sense why Mion wasn't at the freaking festival.
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't Mion at what's in that?
Bro, we haven't seen Mion. We cannot confirm whether or not she's alive. Curious.
They're gonna show her like in the next episode.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go one town over to go see my good friend.
Well, she could also be going to that private school.
What if the arc ends and
I thought they mentioned
like
that she was...
Satoko brings Rika to her house and she's just like, "Look at the rotting corpse of Mion here." I'm insane.
This is because you still want to go back, Rika.
You still
Embrace old Hinamizawa.
I mean, if they're gonna do whatever next episode is, where they go to 1985, like it's just gonna be Satoko and Rika because Keiichi and Rena would have graduated, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I believe. How old are, I forget what like grade are Reina and
Rena and Keiichi should be a year younger than Mion.
right?
Yep.
Okay, makes sense.
Because if I remember from the from Oni Kakushi's visual novel, it's they have a tip that talks about their age range. They don't specifically give ages, but they say Keiichi is a year
1 year older than
1 year
Rena.
younger than Mion, and Rena it's Rena's age number at least is one less than Keiichi, but she's born the same year as Keiichi. It's just that her birthday falls after June.
Yeah.
I think if I remember, it's July something. Like it's July 14th.
Yeah. Okay,
Makes
makes sense.
I don't know. Well, anyway, so I wanted to go back to Watanageshi simply because Horsecam and Yen said I know you guys noticed this because we were all on a call watching this, but Ambi and Kirby, did you notice that Satoko shrunk during the Watanageshi?
No,
They just reused the same animation of the dance, which was when Rika was a year younger. So she's just smaller for that one scene.
Satoko regression.
You gotta cut
Yeah.
corners somewhere.
And they used the same dance for the third time, right?
Oh my
It's
god.
the only
but
good dance that they
I mean, it's supposed to be like a ritual dance, so I wouldn't think it would
didn't-
make sense to change it.
I didn't even
It would
really...
make sense to change the angle at least, but oh well. It's Go.
Oh,
My expectations are already low.
you know, something I wanted to ask about. So I know with the new ED that was this episode, you know how it was just like, like credits on a black background. Do you think there's ever going to be do you think there'll be visuals for that? Like next
No.
episode?
I
No,
think it'd
it's-
be funny if there wasn't.
yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I honestly think there's not going to be any animation for it.
They ran out of budget by the end of the series, and it's just gonna be like moving Satoko and moving Satoko
Because, like,
around the
it was
screen
like-
in like MS Paint.
It's like I saw like it's just credits. Oh no, is this ED's just credits?
It's gonna be the same ED animation. What if?
No.
It's really weird because I really like the art for the first ending. Like it's really pretty and it's just kind of nice to look at. I kind of I don't like ending one as much anymore, mostly because I just associate it with like the ending to a Go episode happening where it's just like something crazy happens and then the episode ends and it's like do 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 do
It sucks because I actually love God Syndrome.
Same.
Oh,
I
you say
listen
Ghost
to it on my free
Syndrome.
time.
It's a really
God syndrome.
Go syndrome.
God Syndrome. Man, this anime sucks. I think this is gonna be the first anime that I rate something below a 5.
You're gonna rate
No,
something below a
no,
5.
that's a lie. That's a lie. I think I evaluated Tokyo Ghoul Re with like a 3 or something. I think I'm gonna
Okay.
give 1 to Go.
Okay, I do not think it's that low. Of a
Same
series.
here. Same here.
Like I give it at most a 6.
I guess
But you're wrong, Horsecam.
I guess I have a slightly different rating system where I would just like rate something that was like pretty good, like a 7, so like a 6 would still be good for me. So I'd probably rate it like a 3 or something, I guess. But that's just
I feel like this is.
I like how you
I
built that up.
rated it
You
a
built
6.
that up to give it like a 5, and then you gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3.
I rated it a 6 because it's like I still find it enjoyable. It's a freaking mess, but I still find it enjoyable because I'm just on the ride. I'm not like
Yeah. Same. Like I compared it to a roller
trashing on it
coaster
every day.
Yeah. I compared it to a roller coaster earlier, and I think that's pretty accurate, at least for my view.
Yeah, like it is this show continually finds the best ways to give me whiplash.
Yeah, it's one of the
I'm
only
curious
shows
at
I'm
how it
watching week
ends.
to week, and that's saying something.
You know,
Well, actually, I want to talk about something. I don't know
Yeah.
if I talked about it the other day in the text chat of the Higurashi Log, where I talked about there was a rumor called Higurashi Sosu about like there was a rumor like a little bit ago in like November, December about like, oh, this new core that's coming out, which would be this current core, being called Higurashi Sotsu instead of Higurashi Go, but this is still called Higurashi Go. So I'm curious on what Higurashi Sotsu is. I don't have any
That's a good
information
question.
about where
Yeah,
this
I
came from.
haven't heard it from anywhere else besides you.
No. Like I found out about
You're
it from
source.
that video I posted from Animacids, where he talked about his theories on Go so far. I was like, what does that mean? Where did Sotsu come in?
Maybe it's just
Like-
another one of those rumors
Is it like
that
for a
aren't
second
actually
season?
true.
I,
Oh God, please no.
Actually, yeah,
Go-
because this
go.
is not the first time I've heard a rumor of like, oh, there's like another core after this one. Because
No.
back when the show started, I heard like there was a German article that said Higurashi Go is going to be 24 episodes followed by a 13 episode third core. And I'm like, I wonder if that's true. I don't think it is, but like,
it seems
this
like they're
point,
getting
I
pretty
don't wanna
close.
believe
Going to be the answer S
Yeah, I don't know if I
I
can
really
handle.
don't
I don't know
do.
if I can handle another 13 episodes of Higurashi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah,
I'm
Higurashi
looking
Go.
forward to the end of Go.
Yeah, I want to just be
another
able to
Go.
close
Like,
this
I-
off
I
and
am
be
looking
like,
for it
well,
for
that
Go
happened.
again. Like, I'm tired.
I don't want to
like,
have to go like, will
So,
this
like-
redeem the previous entire season now that I have to keep watching it?
There,
Well, it will if they do another season. It will probably take place. It probably won't premiere until like next year. Anyway.
I don't want to
wanna
wait!
have to
So we
wait
have a year to calm
get
down.
answers
Nah,
to Go.
I wouldn't be excited for a second season. I was at first, because my initial understanding when I first got into Go was that it was just going to set up like a new question arc, and then we'll have new answer arc season.
That's
But
what I
by
thought
the-
too, and then it's like,
Yeah, and then by the middle of the season, it was just like, oh nope, that's not what we're doing anymore.
No, I still believe in my the next season. It's just gonna be Umineko
Yeah.
Go.
I
Umineko
really can't
Go.
wait for Umineko Go.
I mean
No.
that's my crackpot theory is that by the end of Go, we're just gonna introduce some like Umineko stuff.
It's gonna be like a pan cut to like 1986 October 4th. It's just Battler
you're like,
getting to the airport.
Yeah. Oh my God. Umineko
And you hear
I'm just thinking of Battler and
yeah,
Go's art
Higurashi Go is just
style.
this giant interaction to Umineko Go.
it would. It'd be funny
You
if
just
like one of like the next episodes of Go, because we're doing like because we're doing like like skipping forward in time shit, is just like Satoko and Rika just in 1986 like looking at the TV and being like, man, those murders sure were crazy. Anyhow,
Yeah, it's just a report saying
Just giant wink.
what was it? 18 people dead.
yeah,
18 people dead.
yeah, they just
eight
like
people
mention
famous,
that and they don't do
famous.
Umineko
anything
Go,
with
the
it.
culprit is the 19th person.
There's another looper.
There's another looper.
Oh God, I
But
really.
this time Erika is
The fisherman the guy on the boat is the looper.
Kawabata.
Yeah.
Kawabata sniper theory.
No. If we get to Umineko Go, you know they're gonna be make Rosatri chain to a thing. You know
No, Rosatris is
they're gonna
real.
canonize Rosatri chain,
Oh
which I
my
don't
God.
want to see happening.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
one of my
yeah.
many crackpot theories. Another one is that by the end, it's gonna get just super meta.
Well, I
Yeah,
I hope
we're gonna
so.
get into meta shit soon, I guess.
guess
I
my theory is that, or at least my initial theory for Higurashi Go, is that this is all just gonna tie into like I don't know that much about like I don't really know how the answer arcs handle all that stuff, but I was figuring, oh, maybe it'll like it'll tie into witches and all that and stuff like that, but I don't know what Higurashi
I
Gou
feel
is
like
doing.
it's not going to
If
tie into Umineko that deeply, because it'd just be like, if you just only watching Higurashi, you'd just be like, what the fuck is this? I feel like Ryukishi also views them as like some like two separate work that are just have some connections.
Yeah, and that would also just be like a double a double just fuck you, because like this is good for newcomers.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll do that unless they're really feeling fucking insane.
Yeah, it would be a really weird setup, because at first they set it up where like, oh, you don't need to watch the original, but then by second episode it's just like, oh, you do need to watch the original, but if it pulls some Umineko stuff, it's gonna be like, now you have to have watched Umineko, or at least read the
You
entire
couldn't even have
original.
watched
I think
Umineko
what
for
we'll
it
do is
because
they'll-
it has a character who it only appears in the answer arcs.
Yeah.
What they'll probably do is they'll take elements from Umineko, from Umineko, and make it digestible for people who have not.
Yeah, I think they
Red
might.
Umineko?
They'll probably.
Because like,
Maybe you'll
Yeah, I
just
think they'll
introduce
probably like
Feathering
introduce
again.
Featherine as like just like a digestible
This new
thing that's like
character, completely
would
new.
work as a standalone, but like not much more than that.
I can,
yeah, because I think they can do Umineko elements without doing a bunch of Umineko, because most of those Umineko elements can stand on their own without the story of Umineko.
No, they just wouldn't. They
I can
wouldn't
see
really. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you a question then. Because right now, on the timeline of Higurashi Gou, Satoko is pointing a gun at Rika. So, where do you think we're gonna go from now? What's gonna happen on that question?
All right,
Rika's
Satoko
gonna-
shoots Rika. Satoko, because here's the thing: the theory that I read is that Satoko still is under the belief that Rika doesn't know who kills her every arc, even though Rika now at this point does remember who kills her every arc.
what?
Yeah, because you remember Oishi killed her at the end of.
How
Tatari
does
Dama.
Satoko
but
know
what do you
that?
mean? Are you saying
Where's
Rika
this going?
doesn't know Satoko kills her?
No, Rika will know that Satoko kills her, but Satoko doesn't know that Rika knows that.
Oh yeah, because she's still under the impression. Well, actually, I don't know how much of an understanding Satoko has of how what Rika deals with works.
No, I don't think she does, because at most
Ah.
Satoko's
Oh,
probably
okay. I
gonna
think I
be
see where you're
loops.
going. So, like,
Yeah.
okay, so you think Satoko's gonna kill Rika, and then by the next loop, it's Satoko's gonna just think that Rika had no idea what happened.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile Rika knows. Ah, okay, I see.
Watch as it's a
That's
toy gun.
That's definitely possible. I mean,
But I don't know what they would do afterwards. I don't know if Rika will be like, just call her out immediately, or just wait and see.
Rika will just get her own gun. And,
Satoko just like keeps spawn killing Rika again and again.
Yeah.
that's
honestly-
Yeah, that's
How
what
would you
happens
guys
in
do it?
episode 16.
I feel like we
Yes.
could just like.
True.
I feel like we could just get like a few episodes of just like of just Satoko immediately. Well, maybe not a few episodes, like maybe like a few like half an episode of just Satoko spawn killing Rika.
Like Rika rakes up, boom. Rika rakes up. She gets cut in half.
Yeah, she's trying to do Hinamizawa escape your own.
I'm just
bedroom
imagining there's
90%.
like
I'm just curious in how Satoko even loops in the first place. Does she need to die? Because like
That
would
is a
make
very
sense.
good question, actually.
Because most of the other
what
arcs
happens
she
if
dies
she gets
in the process.
comatose?
Well, let's.
Or like, I mean,
She would
like
just be comatose.
brain dead.
I guess
She wouldn't whoop.
Well, who-
If she is comatose, she wouldn't whoop.
just curious. Where do y'all think Satoko's I guess powers, looping powers, are coming from?
I don't
Okay,
know.
I have a theory on this.
All right.
Okay, so do you know what the Onigari no Ryo is? The sword.
The
Yes.
sword.
I'm not asking you, Horsecam.
Is that Is that the?
Wow, that's mean, Des. I can't.
I don't.
But you know what my theory is, so obviously I'm not gonna ask you if you know what Onigari no Ryo is.
I only know the
don't-
sword.
Oh, is it your Linyu theory?
I don't.
No, it's not lying you. It's not lying you.
I don't think I do know what
It's
the
the other
sword
theory.
is.
I only know the sword
Okay,
in the
so-
context they explained it in Go.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to spoil you on a side arc of Higurashi.
Okay,
Is that
That's
the
fine.
weirdest.
That's
arc.
fine. That's
No one
perfectly
really
fine.
wants
I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Hogoshi.
so? Hanyu comes from an intergalactic species, and
Oh.
they have the ability to cross universes, which is like the same theme in Umineko with the meta world. In Higurashi, it's sci-fi.
Huh.
And so they have this. The Hanyu in the past had this sword that acted like the portal between worlds, and so like since Hanyu's power is the power to make stuff loop, then I wouldn't be surprised if the sword had some kind of similar power, since this sword has an artificial intelligence that Hanyu built into it, and it's also a sword that already has the power to jump between
Wait,
dimensions.
so you're
I
telling
wouldn't be surprised
you,
if it also looped.
you're telling me that
and-
Higurashi has aliens in it?
Have you read the original?
No, I mean I guess that's true. I just didn't I guess I just didn't really think of them as aliens.
They're not aliens. It was supposed to be like a false theory. It's like the queen carrier theory, which is like
Yeah,
the
that's
dumbest
Oh,
thing.
the
yeah.
shocking part, because it's actually true.
Well, it's fiction based on the truth.
Okay, okay. But what's important is that, you know, we have to. This theory sits upon the assumption that the sword has also some kind of looping power.
Right.
And what I would say would happen is that Satoko, on the future where Rika goes to Saint Lucia, she is missing Rika, and so she goes to take a stroll into the Ritual Tool storehouse because they used to play there. And once Satoko even broke the hand statue, right? So like Satoko would be reminiscing about her past with Rika and would touch the statue and would eventually find the sword in there. And once she touched the sword would resonate with her feelings, and that would make the world loop in response to her to Satoko longing for Rika.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that
makes sense.
And that would be why Satoko is the culprit. And I also think this one fits with the theory of the culprit being Rika's feelings of insecurity, because that would be a metaphor for the in-game explanation, which would be Satoko touching the sword. If that makes sense for me. I don't know.
yeah,
if it makes
no,
sense for
I
you.
think I think from how you described it, that makes perfect sense to me. I
Yeah,
could see
it-
something like that
Yeah,
happening.
it makes sense in the context of everything,
Every yeah, that,
mythologically based in Higurashi. Because all my theories were just like completely like, how are they gonna do anything without explaining things from Umineko or having characters from Umineko, like the whole like Birkenstell theory with the whole thing, and because if they do the whole Birkenstell
yeah.
theory, they would have to introduce Lambda Delta, and
Would they? Do you think they would? need to
I don't think
introduce
they will have
Lambda?
to introduce Lambda Delta. They would just have to do a version of Lambda Delta. Like
I-
I don't think they need the full character of Lambda Delta.
yeah.
yeah,
All you need is Bern being there, because like who is the one who knows Rika's insecurities? It's Bern Castell, because she has been Rika.
Because Burn
And we have seen Bern Castell likes to torture people like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if she just went like, yo, Rika, you stole my happy ending. Why are you living my happy ending? And I got booted out of the game when the story ended. I'm gonna make you suffer now.
Well, Burn Steel is at least explained in the original Higurashi.
Yeah.
In context of the original. You
That's
don't
true. That's
need-
true.
I mean,
Yeah, she's explained in the dice killing arc.
Yeah.
I believe. Somewhat.
which is either going to be canonized, somehow non-canonized. Or
Yeah.
somehow
What do you
it will
mean?
play. I still don't think Saikoroshi is not canon in Go because it doesn't make sense.
Wait. Did you say that Bern Castell was canonized in Saikoroshi?
No, you did. You told me
What?
that when
No,
we talked
you
a couple
mentioned
months ago.
Saikoroshi.
Which one?
You were the one who mentioned Saikoroshi Horse Gun.
I
I
know-
just said Saikoroshi will not be canon.
I hope that does not happen. I really like Saikoroshi.
for for me, I guess before we got to more of the Looper stuff, I did have like a little theory about Higurashi Go, that it was just gonna be like a commentary on just mysteries for the sake of mysteries or something, just like something like that. I wasn't sure exactly how it was gonna go, but I don't know if I really believe that
I know
anymore.
exactly what you mean. That's what I meant by like a crackpot theory, where like I think this could go really meta, because the last episode with the entire Satoko flashback was kind of setting up this whole theme where it's sort of like you have to like learn to let your friends go, and I thought it was gonna be like a sort of like a meta type of thing where it explains how like the audience of Higurashi is like, oh, like we really want like more child murders, more art, more out of everything. Meanwhile, I think Ryukishi might be saying probably by the end, where it's just like sometimes you just have to let things go, and like that includes Higurashi, because out of all his properties,
that's why it's called Higurashi Go.
Higurashi goes.
He's telling us to let go.
Yeah, he's telling us to let go.
It's all coming full circle.
It makes sense to make a new entry in the series embedded with the message
Metal
of
Gear
let's
Solid
not make
4
new
moment.
entries in the series.
I mean,
that's why he wanted to be an
super
anime. That's why he didn't
hypocritical.
make a VN.
I've seen that done before with different series, so I could see it happening.
Yeah, I've seen Metal Gear Solid
that would make
Danganronpa
sense
do
if
that.
This was just a
Here's
big
the thing.
shitpost from
It would
Ryukishi.
make sense if Higurashi, it would make sense for him to revisit Higurashi and put the nail on the coffin if Higurashi didn't have an extremely solid ending, but it does.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean,
And it's not like
Higurashi has probably the best ending in my favorite
What?
ending of all the
Really?
of all 7 expansion novels, because every other expansion novel ends kind of to me.
Well, when you're comparing something to Umineko, of course it's gonna look worse. It's fucking Umineko. Hello?
Yeah.
No, I said Higurashi's my favorite. I said it's better than
What?
Umineko's.
What?
And I can't really talk about it.
Umineko's
Now we're
ending's
stepping into
kinda
blasphemy.
weird, but I
Or
felt
still-
like Higurashi's ending was just kind of like, and then everyone was happy.
Mm.
I guess it depends on what you mean by a good ending that wraps everything up. Like, does it end happy, or like does it solve everything, or does it feel like thematically like have a thematic conclusion?
yeah.
Hmm.
This is
That
kind
makes
of
sense.
like far removed, very far removed from what we were talking about at this point. But I'd like to go back to something in episode 18 really quick. This is just something that I like. This is something I actually liked about the episode personally. It's like I don't really liked an episode in a long time, but I don't know, like the scene of just like Satoko and Rika, walking home together and just like chatting and holding hands. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, that was food for the shippers.
I don't know. I just thought that was like that's cute. It wasn't bad.
When we finished episode 18, we were like, wow, that was boring, and then we went on Twitter and saw people saying that was the best episode of Go, and it was just like, what the fuck? So then I just watched the episode.
It was the less worse. It was the less worse.
Yeah,
That was
I watched
something I
the.
just did not agree
It was
with.
the least worst
I was like,
episode
no.
of
So I
Go.
decided to watch the episode again, just by
It's not
myself,
the worst.
and I came to the conclusion that it's a decent episode in a vacuum, as just some more Higurashi just niceness. But the problem is where it happened. This is episode 18, and the last 3 episodes was just dipshit insanity.
I think if that, I think if we had started close to the beginning of the series with that episode, I think I would have really liked it.
Yeah, if this happened
because,
maybe in the middle of an arc,
we wouldn't have all that.
Yeah.
that would have provided more variety.
We wouldn't have all that baggage.
I think I think that whole episode was supposed to be like a breath of fresh air, considering all the insanity that happens in the other ones. Because I really liked it. It definitely wasn't the
I
best.
enjoyed it.
But I really like the dialogue. I like the scene where Rika and Satsuko are holding hands and they talk, and one of them tells a joke, and they have a nice moment where they're just laughing.
Yeah. I really
I
like
think
that too.
my favorite scene on the episode was seeing Rena and Keiichi taking over the club now that Mion is gone. And seeing the new direction in which the club is going. Because Mion was fucking ruthless and no one wanted to be on the club. But now that Rena and Keiichi are the ones in charge, everyone wants to be on the club. And it's just interesting to see that. I've got to give Go that.
Yeah,
I think that
cute.
was nice.
And I really like that scene too because Keiichi also tells Satoko like you have to stop like playing dirty or like you have to stop like with your traps or stop cheating or something to that effect. And I really think that's gonna come back later. I really want to believe that comes back later, especially when I want my eventual Satoko and Rika face off.
Yeah. Keiichi's gonna come back, look at Satoko like fucking Battler looks at.
Oh,
you feel shit. Like that face that Battler Battler makes. When he's
can we
really
talk about the Twitter poll?
Oh yeah.
the Twitter poll I put out.
Okay, so we put out a Twitter poll saying, "Hey folks, what is your genuine and honest opinion of Go? We've seen many different opinions, and we want to see what? What the fuck, Horsecam? Okay, Horsecam wrote and different opinion, and we want to see what the public opinion is. English, anyway. Most people think it's great.
Yeah, 43% of our 30 votes is increased since I've last seen it. Yeah. 43% said great, and that I'm gonna say that's a little bit.
Yeah, I
more
voted
some
for
of
bad
us on the server as voted. I just said okay.
I voted for okay personally.
Yeah.
But it
So
still
43%
seems
think it's great, 30%
And
thinks
is there
it's
any
okay.
comments on it? Because I forgot to say, hey.
And only
comment why you
20%
think-
said
No
bad.
comments.
6.7% are fucking centrists who say unapplicable.
Yeah, and only 4 people
Well,
liked
I-
it.
That's not being centrist, that's
Go.
not having an answer to give.
I probably would have picked unappliable, considering how much I'm not really like thinking too much about how I would rank it, and mostly it's like what we've been saying. Like I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just said it was okay.
Yeah.
Like,
fair.
so,
Wait, you
that's
voted
fair.
as well?
yeah. Well, because everyone else was voting, I was like,
No,
Okay.
only Yensid voted.
You
Because
didn't
Yensid
tell
is
me
dumb.
not to vote.
well, Saime voted.
Simon did as well.
I did
I,
say
you
none of
didn't
the
say it
votes.
soon
If
enough.
I knew
Why,
this
why
was
am I
here,
not
I would've
surprised
voted.
Simon voted
Hey,
as well?
I wasn't
I
in the
literally said it
podcast
like
yet.
an hour before you like said I voted.
I wasn't in the podcast yet, so I voted anyway.
Yeah, you weren't here yet. But like, I am curious in why like people think it's like the majority of the people think it's great. Like, I wouldn't say like, oh, they're Higurashi, they're only, so like they probably because like I think the majority of the people who
Do you
follow
think-
our account
Oh yeah.
aren't just Higurashi only. They also read Umineko. So I'm curious
Yeah.
of why they think that.
If Umineta's server is anything to go by, most people there have read Umineko, and most people there are really enjoying Higurashi Go. So
Is that just
Yeah,
if you're able to enjoy Go, that's great.
Is
Yeah,
that just people who
but I'm
follow
moving.
us? Because I also imagine this that most people have only seen Higurashi. Like a majority of people who are familiar with Ryukishi have only seen Higurashi, and not many people have seen Umineko. But I guess that could be different with people who follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I only did it to people who follow us. I didn't do like hashtag Higurashi Go because I wanted to get a sample size of our audience. Than
Well,
just
did anyone
the Higurashi Go?
like kind of well
Only
known
2
retweet it
retweets.
at all? Or?
No, we only had 2
any
retweets.
famous?
No.
Yeah. Any...
Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo
I should've asked
DiCaprio.
Umineko. I should've asked Umineko to retweet.
Remember when a fucking comedian
DiCaprio
with a
watched our
Wikipedia
podcast.
account retweeted one of our podcast posts on Twitter, and we were just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that
I
was
saw
really
that.
weird.
That's really funny.
I don't remember who they were.
Yeah, any
It
celebrities
was
out
an
there
interesting
watching
one.
Higurashi?
Yeah, if you're that person who retweeted it, and you
feel
have
like-
that Wikipedia
Do you
page.
I
kudos
feel
to you.
yeah.
How you liking Higurashi Go?
Honestly, I'd be very surprised if a really high A-list celebrity was watching Umineko. Like,
I feel a little
Yeah,
little guilty about like us all just kind of hating Go on this podcast because, like, you ever have that time when, like, you're enjoying something and then one of your friends is just like, oh god, that's so terrible. I'm gonna tell you about how much I hate this thing.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And then that just
How
kind
much
of
I
like,
hate it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, but if someone feels like that, then they wouldn't be listening to us.
Yeah,
would they?
yeah.
Well, that's why like I stopped being in the group called We Watch the Episodes, because you just guys like bash the episode repeatedly. It was like, I just can't. That's not enjoyable to me. I just
Yes,
want to
we
watch
need
the
to go to
episode
the
and be like, oh, that was okay. Instead of going, this episode was the worst episode. What the fuck was this episode? Like literally, fucking.
so
Did you
like,
see Runa's
or
outfit?
watch party. I'm gonna describe to you what fucking hell, what our watch party feels like. So Sayome is just perpetually like, what the fuck? This is so bad. What the fuck?
Exactly.
Anonymous is just laughing his ass off about everything.
And Des is just going,
No.
what?
I'm also
no
just like
sense.
half paying attention.
And then it's just there.
Oh,
It's just
I'm
a
kind
fucking
of
mess. Our watch
glad I
party-
watched.
Yeah, last
most of these
episode
by
was
myself
like
at this point now that
a
you guys are
particularly bad episode to watch in a group party.
yeah.
Like
Especially
I
since-
watched the episode. It's like I'm glad I watched this by myself
Yeah.
because like I watched the episode before they even started it, and I was like,
Yeah.
like I could watch it again, but like no, that seems like
Yeah,
a
because
horrible
like we
episode. It would
ended
just
the
be like, this
episode,
is
we were
so
just like,
boring.
that was it. That was
By
boring.
The time I watched,
Yeah, nothing happened. Like the episode was just
I'm just so curious. Like the thing that I don't like about Go is like I don't know if it's a good thing about Go or a bad thing about Go. It's just like I don't know what next episode it's gonna do. Every
No.
time, every next episode, I feel like I have no idea what's gonna happen.
That's the real mystery of Go. You never know what's going to happen because the plot is all over the place. Every minute.
Like after episode 14, was it it was 14 that started Nekodamashi. Like that next episode was like, what? Like how would I have predicted that after the end of episode 14?
yeah.
Wait, which episode was that?
Satoko's gonna shoot Rika and Rika's gonna wake up
14.
in Skyrim.
14 was the beginning of Nekodamashi. 15
I'm-
was the crazy people killing.
I do, do you think someone who's only seen the original Dean
Yeah.
anime would like Go? I guess.
I mean,
guess.
I would think
I've
so,
only
yeah.
seen the original Dean anime. I've read some of the manga. I have, and it's funny because I'm also watching someone play the visual novel. It's the person on Twitter
Oh,
who does
Minion-tress.
the minion art of all the Ryukishi characters.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Interest.
Time passed.
Time passed. I think that's his name. But yeah, I've seen like the original Dean anime like 3 times, so I'm very familiar with like the plot in terms of the anime. And so far, I've been watching Go, and it's been. I sort of have that mindset where it's like, okay, cool, this is really cool. More Higurashi content and more Higurashi content I can consume because I was such a fan of the original one. And I think that's a lot of why people are kind of grateful for this new anime. Because it's new, it's different, and it's different.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are just enjoying it
Right.
just for the
Mm.
sake
Also, I've
of
seen
new Higurashi.
Well,
seen
if
the
you want new
original Dean.
Higurashi, read the extra arts in the visual novel.
Yeah,
There
like
are
if
a
you've
lot
just
of them.
seen the Dean anime, like I don't think Go is bad in terms of that, because like the Dean anime is, at least in my opinion, is just okay. It's not stellar.
Yeah, I think the Dean anime did the best it could with what it had.
Yeah. I just Studio Dean was just a weird choice for the show.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know why 7th expansion always just chooses weird studios.
Yeah, like-
I don't know why they chose this current one.
yeah, like if you're Ryukishi 07, you can pretty much get whoever you want to work
mean-
on it.
I mean,
I don't know.
Ryukishi's the same person
I-
who could
I'm
get
not-
like
What?
anyone
I don't think
to
Ryukishi-
draw sprites for his new VN, and it's just like, nah, I'm okay. I'll draw Sakonia sprites and let me take some of those Google images, just blur them up.
Hey,
Yeah,
he's
no,
getting better.
I still
like,
got this.
The sprites are good.
Zirconia sprites.
Yeah,
and
Rose-Gun
the
Dave's sprites aren't
look
drawn by
actually
him.
Pretty decent, considering like they heat
Ryukishi
through them.
sprites are good as well. Sure.
No, do they look like they are?
Are they
Ryukishi
not?
sprites have love and charm.
They look like they are. They look like the Zirconia sprites.
From what I've seen of the Zirconia sprites,
it's nice to see his
really like them. I think
improvement.
they're charming.
Yeah, I actually really like Zirconia sprites.
I'm not a super big fan of the original Higurashi sprites, but I do really like the original Umineko sprites.
Yeah, the Umineko sprites are just charming.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not horrible, but they're like, oh, it's like someone like, it looks like something if I took art really seriously, I could probably draw something like that.
Yeah, same here.
But like, I'm not a great artist to begin with.
Yeah, they're very charming. It took me a long time to come around to see the appeal, especially since I didn't know about the original sprites for so long. And then I see the newer sprites now, and it's just I get it. I get it. They're very charming. It's very cute. Even like in something like Higanbana.
It's interesting to see his little variations on drawing, because like Higanbana like has more like shading and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that, to be honest.
Personally, I like how, I guess, I've only really like I've only played Umineko with the PS3 sprites, but I think the original sprites for just like most of his works have a lot of like I guess expressiveness that's at least somewhat lost when someone else does it. Not like they're not like the new ones. So some of the newer ones are terrible and some of them aren't. But we're not. But yeah, like I don't know. The originals are just really, really expressive, and even though they're not drawn the best, they tend to give off really strong emotions, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In our amazing 4 shitposts.
Oh yeah, they are great for shitposts.
Yeah, the Umineko ones.
Yeah, any of them. The original Umineko, the original Higurashi ones.
Like, the original Higurashi are, like, I think they're okay, but, like, they're definitely not my favorite way of reading through Higurashi. But, like, with Umineko, I could see someone playing with the original sprites or the PS3 sprites, but I could never see someone playing, like, with the original Higurashi or the Pachinko Umineko
Really?
sprites.
Because I was planning on rereading Higurashi with the original sprites after exam season.
Oh.
Because Higurashi is a cozy series, and so I want to experience it with the cozy sprites.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is a cozy series.
I just don't like the poses.
Yeah.
I hate the poses for the Higurashi sprites. Like, I hate, like, everyone, like, Rena has that cat pose. That looks super weird.
Yeah, I like Rena's little cat pose with her little mitten hands, her little flesh mitten hands.
I don't think Keiichi does.
Like,
I want to see that.
Well, at least the main cast does. Keiichi doesn't have a
sprite is a
sprite until
sprite.
like episode 5. Until like chapter 5.
Wait, does Keiichi like
Awesome
in the
take.
originals does he not get a sprite until like, the POV change?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
in the
there's like
even in the newer versions.
There
it's
is
still
like
together.
backstage
Yep, sure.
all-star cast review, which are kind of like the tea parties for Umineko without the twist of it, where it's just like the actors like talking about it, and there's just a
About the
running joke
actual
where
story
Keiichi
in
is
it.
always on the phone because there's no fucking sprite for him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a joke in, like, I think it's in the Tatari Goroshi one or Himatsubushi, where, like, literally it's like, okay, I'll show up, but, like, the entire screen just black and he just shows up. So you see no character sprites. It's just him
Oh, that's
Black
great.
talking to people. And, well, it's a weird joke because, like, he says, oh, I'm going to dress all you guys in weird outfits now.
Yeah,
No
it
one
makes
knows.
sense
that
in
is-
context.
that is
The
what
joke
he would
is
do.
funny if I wasn't telling
I think
it.
it's a very funny joke, but, like, yeah.
Do
I
you
was
have
looking.
anything else to say about Higurashi Gou?
Yeah, I was gonna say on the topic of on the topic of I guess art and art styles and just all that, I want to say Higurashi Gou I feel like has a very appealing art style, and it's one of the things that I really like about it. It's
Yeah.
very it's very visually pleasing. I mean, occasionally there's things like
Or Oishi's
car in the
face.
first arc.
This is everything.
Look, Oishi's face.
Yeah, the cat
Yeah,
mouth
there's some weird
stuff.
faces.
The perpetual cat mouse.
There are like a few there are like a few things here and there like that looks a little weird, but I think for the most part it's pretty well animated and
I think
appealing
it
to
looks
look at.
really good. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a couple scenes that stand out to me, like when Shion in Watadamashi, like when Mion and Shion, when Keiichi sees that Shion and Mion are two different people. I actually think that scene's decently animated and
Yeah.
looks kind of cute, especially Mion.
Yeah.
Because fucking embarrassed Mion
Yeah.
is.
I honestly
fucking adorable.
think the animation is below average. Like the aesthetic, I like it.
Yeah, that's
Honestly, I don't see how you guys like the animation. Maybe I'm spoiled.
Yeah, sometimes the animation is
You're
big.
spoiled because you watch.
I think
freaking
that like the
Attack on
money
Titan.
shot animations or like the
Well, I'm sorry. I
times where
watch
it's just
good
like,
shows.
okay, let's have some good animation right now are well animated.
I just think it's charming to look at. It's nice. Most of the characters look pretty, on point for the art style. It's nice.
I will say there is one moment I'm thinking of that's really shitty animation, and that's the ladder scene from Watadamashi, where literally when Keiichi's on that ladder being shaken, it basically looks like someone on Photoshop just moving him around.
The ladder scenes are cursed.
Because the camera doesn't shake along with it. It's just him shaking.
Yeah.
That reminds me, remember the one little
cannot
fucking
have a good
visual
ladder
gag
scene in
where
anime.
Rika just like flips around, except she's just like a fucking Paper Mario sprite.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
I think that was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, it definitely is,
Yeah.
but I still loved it. It was really cute.
It's
I have a couple things that I like didn't get around to saying about talking about what we were talking about the episode is that in the flashback scene in episode 18, when I was like reading the VN, this probably applies to the other adaptations too, but I haven't seen them. So, but when I was reading the VN, when the people were like stepping on her father's notebook, she like, I was just picturing that they were like fucking demolishing it and like getting it so wet with mud that it's just like unusable.
Really?
But then in the flashback in Go, they're just like stepping on the hard binder just a little while she's screaming, and it has like nowhere near the same effect as what I imagined.
I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
Like this is
It's just
Yeah.
oh yeah, it looks like it's just dirt.
yeah, because I think it's supposed to
Like
be
I was just
mud.
imagining
remember,
it just
they-
like
it's described
fucking
in the
pouring
VN,
Yeah,
it's
mud,
mud is getting
everywhere,
seeping into it.
but like it's just dirt with a little bit of water.
That's the
Yeah.
Hinamizawa.
'Cause wasn't it
syndrome.
also
You
raining during the
hallucinate
scene?
There's mud.
Oh yeah, was it not fucking
'Cause
raining
it's supposed to be
during the
raining during the
flashback?
scene because it doesn't stop raining until everyone leaves.
There is no money for rain.
I guess not. No.
No. Because I remember the rain because at the end of what Higurashi when Takano tries to shoot Rika and Hanyu does her cool bullet time thing. It's supposed to
Yeah,
be
I
raining
think
think
that's
it was-
the difference
Yeah.
between
Talks
like
about how
why
the raindrop
I
stopped.
want to say I like the ending, how they portray the ending in the original anime more than they did in this flashback. Like it just felt so. There just felt like there was so much more dramatic weight in the original anime than it was in this flashback. And I don't know if this flashback was like attempting to bring back that feeling. If it did, it really didn't. It really
No.
It really missed the mark.
It
Yeah,
it
felt
felt
like it was just-
like, hey guys, this
Yeah,
is
it just
the
feels like,
Train
train
hey,
the bare minimum.
whatever.
hey,
Matsuruga
hey,
Yasa.
buddy,
like,
you need some context.
Oh, there's still
Here you
new
go.
people. Okay.
Here's 5 minutes of context of things
Also,
that
she-
don't make sense.
Do
Like,
we ever cover like
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
is
yeah,
she
I
during
guess-
1984? I thought she was like in the school.
I was thinking about that
Like-
too. What the fuck? Does she just like disappear and everyone was
Wait, you're right. This episode decanonized one of the arcs in the manga because there's an arc in the manga that has Hanyu there
But, like,
for like
seriously, what the
two
fuck
whole
happened?
seasons of the year, and
Maybe-
yet she isn't here.
Maybe Hanyu just had a
Like,
cold.
why
that
did they
day.
just forget that?
We could get the
It's-
voice actress.
Hanyu
What?
doesn't
Weird. She's in that
They
episode.
didn't, they didn't just have her like
Just
sitting in the
couldn't
background,
Could've
just
scheduled
like
voice
in the
actress for those
corner,
lines.
Yeah.
just like
Like she has
saying she
lines in
exists.
that episode.
And that's Hanyu in the corner.
Hanyu
No?
in the
Okay.
corner.
Also, I forgot episode 18. Also,
Hey.
this last episode
I'll-
also had another
Ah,
appearance
yes.
of the Meow-looking character.
Yeah.
Also, you know,
I don't remember if she.
I
Had
think
a line
that
or if
there's
it has
like a
line.
group of 3 people just saying, "Yeah, let's play a game," and that was it.
Oh, are you guys talking about one of the
Well-
classmates?
Yeah.
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 There's a classmate that looks like the protagonist.
Yes. One of the classmates looks like Meow
Nice.
from Seconia.
also,
Nice.
you know that feeling when you like you're in a
Well,
feeling in an RPG when you like you pass a speech check for the pacifist option where like one of the main villains goes, "You're right. My whole life was a sham. I will stop what I was doing my whole life. Thank you for convincing me." And you're just like, what the fuck? Because that's it felt like that just happened to Takano at episode 17. Also,
Yeah,
like,
she was
without
the
the
only one injected
context
with
of this
normal
being without the context of this being a looping story, in this fragment, she just kind of came up to a child, said, "Sorry, I was going to murder you. I'm not going to murder you anymore, though," and then leaves.
Yeah, I think that was the final nail in the coffin for Rika realizing that something is really wrong with how perfect
Yeah.
everything is.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think also another thing I think is funny is technically this stuff what we're getting and it's supposed to be like post Matsuri Bayashi. So like Rika's probably might mention something that happened in other fragment. Because like Satoko looping like because I was reading the manga chapter that came out yesterday and like Satoko seems very surprised when she runs into Tepe, even though because she probably doesn't have that much experience with Tepe.
true.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
she
that's-
probably
that's a-
because she
Yeah,
probably
I didn't
comes
even
from the
think about
fragment
that.
of Matsuri Bayashi, which she doesn't run into Tepe
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't even thought about
that raises
that.
questions.
So
Like,
she
how
has
long
no
has,
experience
Satoru
with
been in
The
these
Tepe
games?
fragment.
That's true. Yeah, because
Well, most likely than not, since Onidamashi, since that we know that is the first loop for Rika, so
How
it
does
would make
Satoko
sense
loop?
for it to also be the first loop for Satoko.
oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, all things I hope they explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
I assume they'll
gonna
get
call
to
it now. I'm
but,
just
like,
gonna say
it
next
could be a
episode
little
is
bit,
going
'cause
to
I don't
be.
think next episode is
Wow,
gonna be, like,
I got into St. Lucie.
Let's reveal
oh
some
no, I
big
did not
boy
get into
things.
St. Lucie. I am so sad.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's my prediction for the bulk of next episode.
Probably.
It's just going to continue the flashback of the previous episode, and it still might
And-
it might end on like an intense
We might get
cliffhanger.
we might get a looping reveal maybe, depending on how much they
Maybe.
cover.
It has to.
We might. I know
Probably not.
the next
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm
the
getting.
episode after next
Yeah,
one will
same here.
have something,
Mhm.
but like next episode, I don't
Okay.
think we're gonna get
Anything else you want to say then?
Nope. I think I covered everything I wanted
Yeah.
to say.
Okay, so how we ended.
All right, then.
I'm just looking in the
Yeah.
channel, and
Yep.
remember the one fucking shot with where the
So we're at a
crowd
point
is
of, like,
repeated
about-
3
about
times
90 minutes.
with different clothes.
Come on, are you really doing this yet? Come on, that's not that big of a flaw. in the
Remember that one
episode.
time when
the fact that they are reusing crowd assets.
Remember that one time in the background when that calendar was set to October instead of June?
Yeah, that's just an animation thing. Let's just say
Calendar Gate is real. The end of the arc is going to be Satoko looking
Okay, so you
directly into the
see,
camera and
it's
saying
still one
Calendar Gate's
loop
real.
because there was just a bunch of clones of the
real.
clones of Hinamizawa. That's how they died.
It's
Just to
a
provide some
clone.
context to One Piece, Calendar Gate is a wild theory that Yansid and Sayome came up with, and it essentially says that there is no loop.
Yeah.
And it is built upon the fact that the calendars display the wrong date on the walls on Higurashi Gou.
Yeah, Calendar Gate's still real. Everybody's just a
That Calendar
clone.
Gate can still win, guys.
I feel like that's a yeah, Calendar Gate's a pretty good point to end on.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah.
I hate this
Next
show.
time for more Higurashi sadness as we cover the next 2 episodes of Higurashi Go.